This is Mutabaruka. We want to present to you a wholesome kind of level of consciousness right now. So subscribe and tell your friend them. This is Mutabaruka. I'm Muta. I enjoyed the music last week. Yes. Well, you know, it's this week, you know. It's at 12 o'clock. We are going to celebrate Emperor Haile Selassie I's reincarnation. Emperor Haile Selassie coronation. The 2nd of November. That is next tomorrow. So from 12, a pure Rasta music. What me say? All of the music them from 12 go straight on. We'll be healing up Emperor Haile Selassie the first. And we're going to have 2 brethren on the radio tonight to talk about some issues that we dealt with last week on the Stepping Razor as it relates to Rastafari and the, what them call it, sanctuaries, ganja sanctuaries was designated for Rastafari to celebrate and to really use ganja in a them sacrament purpose ways, you understand? So we'll talk to 2 brethren about that because they must part of the ones and ones who go in front of the ministers them and tell them exactly what we want, and then we say, Babsy Grange come out and make a speech. So we want to hold on upon that. Meanwhile, ladies and Black Mombasa, you know that there's a place in South Africa named Ladysmith. By the way, the group they name Ladysmith after the same town, Ladysmith Black Mombasa. And the main singer passed for a good while now, but you see the music where they make as a way they call a cappella group, where they don't use man-made instrument, they use them body, them foot, them chest, them hand to make music. May I tell you, man, them sweet. You know, long well while somebody bring them come down, man. May I tell you. Anyway, we have to continue the journey. Remember, say, we have to call 2 brethren to come discuss what we talked about last week on the Stepping Razor. Yes, so we want to hold on upon that. And then at 12, you know, so it's the 2nd of November. So we're going to do it like how we love to do it with the music. And all of the music them is healing Rastafari. So why is here? Awake for that. Here we go. The cutting edge, man, may I tell you. Okay, so we have on the line here 2 brethren. Marcus Gaff, lawyer, and first man from the Rastafari indigenous village in St. James. And we want to do a follow-up on what we did a deal with last week. I don't know if any of the brethren them did hear the program last week. Good night.
Blessed love Rastafari. Give them tonight. No. I never
First man that, right?
Yes, sir.
Look after him, did they?
Yes, brother Mota.
You never get the program last week?
I read about it.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll discuss where Babsy, the speech of Babsy gave a month ago, be about where the eye them go to them with. I mean, the way she talk, it is like she come up with it, but we know say some deliberation take place with a group of Rastafari, brethren and sistren, that it could have reached this level. So we want to talk about what happened. Which one of the ministers them want to go to first? The Minister of Security or the Minister of Justice? Which one of them?
So, just blessed greetings to the institution, the cutting edge, you know, and I grew up on this institution in many ways, so I want to give thanks to the eye for that. And also want to just give thanks to I Raga and RMO family, you know, that I really represent in this conversation. And, you know, this, as the eye say, this amendment took place in 2016, and the duty was more with the Ministry of Justice and the Minister of Justice. you know. So, yeah, so the first journey started with Mark Golden.
Yes.
And then Mark Golden, politics come in, and Mark Golden losing in 2016. And then I end up now start a vibration with Chuck. The two of them approach it differently because of how the law set it, you know. Mark Golden in trying best now did pay go through to the community, so you did have representative from the Nyabingi house, you know, ones on the Bobo Shanti house, and, you know, other ones outside Dread, you know, Virgin we could actually speak towards 12 tribe of Israel. And he did call that advisory committee. And what that advisory committee managed to accomplish, because, you know, that they did set up that still and require that. So we don't know nothing about Rasta. He would have want a group of ones to advise him. And that lead to Roots Fest. You know, the guy they would know all about them journey the same way when I start the conversation, them down a herb curb. And another one, them stepping eye. You know, so this part of the amendment was activated the very same year of the amendment, you know. So, but then the brethren lose now, and then it come over to Chuck. During that time, that advisory board set up what we hold and call an application form. Because the amendment speak to three things. The amendment speak to no one can do event unless they're a Rasta, so the exempt event. It speak to cultivation, and then it speak to place of worship. But one big part of the amendment where much people don't know about, which we think Brother Marcus will only touch on, is that Rastafari is exempt from possession of ganja. So meaning, say, if a police catch you with ganja, you're exempt from that as long as you can prove, say, you're Rastafari. So the whole thing comes from who is Rastafari.
How you ever prove that?
Yeah. So the whole thing comes from who is Rastafari. So, and I did start to get the feeling now, say, the brethren when this new Minister Chuck, never start no engagement, and he never really follow along the line. A Mark Golden of an advisory committee, and then it's them time that we realize that the advisory committee wasn't an entrenched part of the amendment.
Yeah.
It's just all the Yeah, and it's just all the minister would and they choose to do it, and then now, and I know started a whole heap of calls, and I did up on the advisory and thing. Once now I feel like, say, it's I ganja police, so we started a whole heap of calls now, and I said, well, youths I get locked up and in front of court, and it's that emerged rather, you know, the Rastafari and Grassroots Association, which now is totally linked and run by the RMO. So rather now start to, you know, do some defense, you know, Brother Marcus probably can't take it from there, so because it's a whole heap of legal, you know, write letter, get all I mention them to sign it, you know, and them things that it's them battle that we have come through while we know say no one can just own it because it has been a journey like that, you know.
Yeah. All right, so Gav.
Yeah, brother.
As the legal man, tell me what was the journey with the minister, no? Chuck.
Right. So, yeah, man, the first man was saying there now. So, the advisory committee, you know, was a really good consultative framework to work through some of these things. But then, when Mr. Chuck came in now, you know, I think we can probably safely say that, you know, the current administration did not take to the ganja like the previous Minister of Justice had. And so, you know, we really were seeking for some time to get to really, you know, have a reason with Minister Chuck around these issues because, of course, you know, ever since Rastafari been, you know, lobbying for this type of freedom where ganja is concerned, and finally in 2015 we get this amendment. So we were very eager now to really hit the ground running, see how we can build out the ecosystem, how we can make sure that Rastafari community benefit from this. And so it was a long time trying to even get a meeting with Mr. Chuck. But eventually we were able to get a meeting and some meetings going because, again, we bring to the attention that the police still lock up Rastafari one. Either them take the herb and charge you, or them take the herb and let you go, or them take the herb and extort you for money. So we're still being, you know, facing these kind of atrocities out there in the streets, you know. And first man said I have to go to court several times, get my letter, go to police station, write a letter to judge, and all these things because many police, right? And some judges too were still of the view that the 2 ounce apply to Rastafari. When the law clearly says that the 2 ounce is exempt to Rastafari, there's no limit actually in the law of Rastafari to possess ganja. And so that was a thing that many people never believe and couldn't understand.
Hold on there. Was there an amendment of the law that the judges, when you go in front of the judge, them can't say, the amendment say, what you just said a while ago, was there an amendment to the law?
Yeah, man, the same 2015 amendment exempt Rastafari from being charged for possession of ganja.
So how some policemen said they never hear about that?
And I think there was no coordinated training of police, right? And then some of them know still until I use them head or try use their head on it. They extort money.
Implicit bias that lead the tone of the day too, you know. Yeah. The one them just subconsciously can't believe that the amendment said. So when you talk to some of them, they say, no, but so they literally can't accept that. Yeah. That's actually right in the amendment for true. Okay. You know, right. And I think that the brethren get well criticized feet, you know. That is golden.
Golden, yeah. All right. So, all right. Got to that thing about the truck part. Right? We could go and talk about the truck.
Yeah, man. So I'm saying after we have the police situation now, right? Then we decided to, all right, let me go to police that's for security, which is Minister Harris Chang, because the Commissioner of Police fall under that ministry. So we went to Harris Chang, explained to him the urgency because police still harass me out there in the streets and I raid ganja farm and a lot of Rastaman. So Minister Chang now intervened and said, all right, he's going to get us a meeting with Minister Chuck. And we were able to get that meeting shortly thereafter. And from there, now, we were able to bring to Mr. Chuck's attention all of these continuing things that are facing the community, including the fact that many of the Rastafari community ones had applied to the Ministry of Justice from some time ago. The law allows us first man for you to apply to get your right to cultivate for sacramental purposes and to have your place of worship recognized legally, and of course to have exempt events. But no applications were being processed as it relates to sacramental cultivation or place of worship recognition. So we're saying to Mr. Chuck, we have to activate them parts. We clearly them partly vulnerable because from 2015, the law changed, and up to this year, nothing like that has been activated for Rastafari to be able to have their own cultivation done legally, right? So after many reasons, with Minister Chuck and with the help of the ministry and some good staff members down there, we're able to now get the minister to write the Commissioner of Police to outline Rastafari rights in a letter and to request that the police allow Rastafari right, while Mr. Chuck worked on some regulation he said he was working on to further Rastafari rights. So he wrote to Commissioner of Police, which was a good thing as well too, because it kind of made the police them appreciate so this thing really needs some attention, you know, from them. And from that we're able to work with Mr. Chuck. We had this list that we compiled because we worked on it in a collaborative way with the Ministry of Justice. You know, we compiled this list based again on our information on the ground through RAGA and RMO and, you know, through consultation with the community. And we presented this list to the ministry for them to now authorize sacramental cultivation, which we've been waiting on from 2015, you know. Okay. And so this is what we got in August, you know, and this is what we were reading out last week. Yeah. And we give thanks for that. It's not yet perfect. It's still not exhausted. It's an open list. We hope to have more ones in the community able to come.
All right, so make ask the question. Make ask that question now. I read out about 57 or so, right? Oh, the minister and the Rastafari community come to recognize these 58 places. What is it that was done to certify that these places is truly Rastafari gatherings up there, or if it's not just some man just want a position for go smoke ganja on a place, so then was it? Oh, no, come to that conclusion.
Yeah, so that is the interesting question, you know, because when I and I start to have the reasoning and we are recognized to ourselves, even the name RAGA, Rastafari and Grassroots Association, and I know I find out say true during them prohibition time there. You know, enough Rastafari, they depend on non-Rastafari to actually plant, you know. Yeah. So we start bring these reasoning now into the thing now, and I say, well, you know, honestly, no one's a Rastafari journey is about total legalization. But these ones now, they step on the journey with and I couldn't leave them out, you know. So as a result of that now, we start to develop and put, because Minister Chuck is interested in take a different approach. And his different approach was like, who is Rasta? Who is Rasta? So when I view that now, and I say, well, all right then, as a group of ones, you know, who in that journey. So well, all right then, you know what, we're now going to apply. We'll self-regulate. And I will declare, you know, and I check him on that approach. And indeed, I agree with it. So, and I, you know, put in place, and I own protocols, so we start to map the community, the ones them who, because I rather do not speak on the behalf of the Rastafari community. Any other Rastafari who want, according to the law, set it, they can advocate for themselves. And, you know, there's a lot of mistrust, and the government doesn't deserve the trust neither. So, however, and I know for a self-regulating where we start to search in the groupings of I how much ganja we need, who really are planning on your behalf, and then establish one ecosystem, but it's an expansive ecosystem. So in that ecosystem, you know, say you don't have house address, school of vision. Them ones, you know, are the ones them would identify ones who really are grow up on them behalf. So it go, house address now have some place where it plants herb, but house address have some farmer will supply them with herb. So it's the Rastafari community now.
Oh, yeah, I understand. Yeah. Regulate the farmer there.
Yeah. Then start to find themselves and then document that now. But then it becomes scary because, you know, ones that say, oh, I'll put my name on a list and get to government, you know. So it's tricky. So I know even in an I vibration now, I feel really sure one. So we set up our own internal protocol, show one the trickiness of it. And those who agree would sign on to that process. So that is what that whole list is about. Ones and ones now who would agree by principle that this is how I function. When I say how much ganja you grow, no, so that is not we are asked now to go tell the government that. That's because I take a proactive step to know that if we want 10,000 pounds of ganja for a year, all our sacramental needs them can be supplied. So it's the reason that I now have and put systems and structures in place now to ensure that if a health want it for, if a bingy want it for, whatever I would have need want it for, this is why we identify the amount and self-regulate ourselves, you know, and do what we are doing. So Chuck, take the declaration. So those names that they are on the list are names now where I declare. But it don't put an end to the application process.
Yeah, because I
don't say, oh, I operate. Because I think kind of a little different in a way that every ganja we apply, amongst I would have to be accounted for. Meaning to because that means, because the man them worries that ganja going drugs for trade and all these things. So I self-regulate and show them, say, no man, I think it's only for ecosystem and what I.
All right, well, let's see opinion, so I can ask you now. If all right, when we're looking at the Gazette, when we read, there's a difference between the land we are going to use to plant for and the places where of worship where Rasta have them sacraments. Right? So you have the sacrament place like the Bingy, like over Granville, you know, over Osa Dread and upper the hill, where's your name? Upper Mountain. Blue Mountain, what's name again?
School of Vision.
School of Vision, all right. Now we know that School of Vision have land can plant, right? And we know say you have certain ones who's Rasta have land can plant. But is it that all of the land you plant pan is places of worship, or you have places of worship different? Because upon the paper, them have places of worship different from the places where you plant it. So what I ask now is, how you come to the conclusion that this is a place of worship for Rasta? Because enough of them, I never hear about them places yet. Hello?
Sure. Yeah, Muta.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. That's true.
Yeah, so it's the same process where place of worship different from cultivation, you know. Yeah. So them separate, you know. So the place of worship will be priest season. The place of cultivation may be a place in a Portland, where the would sit on the list, you know. So it's that kind of relationship. So some of the places them where you get identified is only in relation to these places of worship.
Well, that makes sense. How we come to the conclusion says that place of worship, and then not just some rata man get off and smoke herbs. You mean anyway ganja smoke or rata there is a place of worship?
Yes, is that I say, you know, and that is what I declare. Say, and that is why now that carry a format, but I declare, and that is why the ones them who dip on the list would have want to agree to that particular format, that the divinity of Emperor Selassie is front and foremost. This is how I present and conduct and I self. We have a protocol, how the weed must grow. The weed can't grow with fertilizer, and if it do so, it will take a transition time. You know, so it have all of everything that's supposed to protect what sacramental or what Rastafari say as I best ital standard herb. All of that involved, you know, what would make the place there. You know, so I set one criteria and I want to agree to it. And then it's all one now would I really reach on the list.
All right, in moving forward, right? Or is there another meeting set up with the minister for really just come clear up the thing once and for all, that nobody no get no misinterpretation or anything like that? Or this is it now? Because it's not the Gazette, so it sounds like that is the completion and final episode of this now, so go forth and do the thing.
Disrespect one, man, because I'm going to make Marcus speak to him and just pray him a little bit in a sense. You know what I want Marcus speak to the fact that Gazette, but I know what I did request. You know, so one still have a kind of know within themselves that whosoever the panelist, they might accept it with some things. Where, you know, for example, him have a thing in the planet like the boy I want can pop up at your place anytime and I know. You know what I'm saying? And this is why sometimes when you hear a lot of one know what I say, boy, they want to the panelist and rare. It come with some things where someone wouldn't necessarily agree about. So, you know, but with
like for instance, no, tell me for instance, like where ones wouldn't agree with.
Like that just one the way I just reason about, say, you know, the Ministry of Justice can turn up anytime, you know, but they not do that with CLA. When they do them thing that with CLA, then give them date and them thing that with them turn up and know say, yeah, come at these plan time. But there are other discrepancies, so Brother Marcus can read reason to it more for the legal one who read them document there.
All right.
Yeah, it's really just that from our perspective, you know, we're saying that this ganja amendment must be viewed in a reparatory justice context. You know, the Rastafari and ganja is synonymous for a long time, and Rastafari has been targeted and marginalized to generation because of the criminalization of the herb. So now we're decriminalizing. We can't continue to maintain this kind of heavy regulatory framework that is, you know, having a lot of policing of Rastafari around ganja. So we deserve to be able to continue to maintain this autonomous relationship with the herb without governmental or police interference. Yes, we understand a certain level of, you know, monitoring and so forth, but we don't want to continue the police. And so we still are going to continue to have discussion around that because we're emphasizing that the community must be allowed to, as I said, self-regulate internally, and that we don't need to have any kind of, as I said, you know, very heavy oversight. As well as, of course, we've also said that this is an expansive list, right? It's like a final list, a cut-off list. Ones who might want to have a space now is cleared and developed. Ones who were left off through inadvertence and so forth, and certain mistakes are there as well. We want to continue to have the list continuously reviewed and expanded where appropriate, you know?
All right. The minister, all right. It's kind of funny because some question arise, and that is now, suppose somebody, all right, for instance, you have a Rasta band. All right, I could say like Ivy and the Rastafari family, or China and him drummers, them and thing, or when them call him up a royal there. All right. if them get to play somewhere where it's not a Rasta function, is it appropriate then that the Rasta them now is free to smoke the ganja in a place where them was employed to play? Or that go like if I by and family get invited to play a one little uptown session, but them just want to get some Rasta vibes, original. How that go if them sit down in there now and say them want to smoke some ganja?
So the law, is still prohibiting smoking in public.
No, that's not public. That's not public. That's not public.
Well, I'm saying if you go to a public event, like say you go to whether you're a hotel or a
if a man who's not Rasta invite a one a private party uptown to play some Rasta music on the drums and thing, is it acceptable now that if the Rasta them decide to pull out them chalice and draw herbs in the place? Or that should have been viewed, that shouldn't be viewed as a place of worship because the rest of them are smoke ganja in there? Or that go?
No. Well, I'm saying that would still be something that would not be against the law, but again, the context of a person's private property, when you go to your private property, then you have to work within certain framework that govern that person's property, the rules are set by them and so forth. But it's not something police can come in and find out because the ganja been decriminalized and so forth,
Okay. So, but I could not take a look around at that when I look on it through the exempt event. At the exempt event, I go down at Negril, place like Negril. And in that particular time, the park they were used for all different type of events. Yeah. During that time, when Rastafari occupied that space, it became actionable for every amendment of the law for that to be a place of Rastafari celebration, adhering to the Rastafari faith, and a place of worship. Now, so we can use the words interchangeably, and this is one of the things that is happening as it relates to the law. All of them questions the way the I ask. Many people really complain and say Golden kind of left the thing open. But through perception, there could be a kind of respecting of the openness. Because what the Virgin explained is that he don't know. He don't know who is Rasta, he don't know, and so he don't want to put certain type of, and that's why the advisor is coming out for advising, so him have flexibility in how for actually. So the law was meant to be a relationship building between the government getting to know I and able to ensure so a protection around that. So it's I now is creating this person, and anywhere this person is sacred. Anyone choose to identify himself as long as he's there, like how the eyes are invited and whatever. So when I go to places like that, as I want to go play music in different areas, who is almost like now come with my rider, so I need my little space so I can light up when time to feel a mind. If that's something I do, I don't really do that still, but other ones might do it. And it's a comfortable thing because it's Rastafari, you invite to his space, so I want them to come knowing that. But the walk in Rastafari is the temple, and I declare these things to them, so it's a learning exercise about who I is, and it never restricted. Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I know it have to continue because, as we say, just like the laps, even though you hear the government has said laps, not to discriminate against, we still see them discriminate against laps in a school. When you see me with the herbs, just like how them say now, it's just that maybe the rest them, and the rest them who are traveling with it must know, say, them can't go bully down the police them. Because you have some rats always stay that way there. Through my car doors, them say, hey, when you move from a Babylon, to say, I go where I like, sacramental this and sacramental that, and aggravate the situation. One of how to talk to men and people. That's men and people, push them disrespect fire, then you have to disrespect it, and then it create a problem. You don't have to start no fire, like say, I'm going to use one of the fire. Respect is due when respect is due. See it. So,
I mentioned that in a thing, and I just want to slip in something small, right? Because even in the protocol, and I even after to the ones them say, well, we have a travel side to the protocol, how we transport the herb. And I still have to one, so well, all right, true. And I look for go to legal ones right around the island. Them early lawyer they will come out and train them about the ganja mission and how the court should see it. And I say we have to educate the courts right now as it relates to them thing there. And I say that we could travel in a some time where within yourself that you can get support, even your own. So you don't have to hide now, because that's enough of the time for real. It's like no one can really see it, say, it's free. So one still move late hours at night and then time they can't get certain representation because everyone has sleep. And just like
with me.
Just be courteous with police. Because we have all of these letters now. Probably shouldn't send them to the eye where the eye can't see it. But we have all of these letters now we chuck right to the police and the very short letters where each one should have walk with and just have them things they just like what the eye says. So you can have a respectful relationship. When I want to you can say, yeah man, they're Rastafari, it's my piece of paper, whatever. Educate the police instead of money out.
That's why I say no, all of the ones they moved up on the list should I get one of Jamaica Gazette, them like a constitution, you have to work with it.
Yeah.
So you name the panic because warm to the time when a man decides to him about offload a pound of ganja down a St. Elizabeth there, down a Clarendon there on a boat. How the policeman are going to know say him now, it's not that him are going to do, it's not export him or exported. When him don't say, why you want to see that place of worship him and go. How that going to go?
When it comes to exporting, then yes, that's a different framework.
No, but him not going to tell the police him are exported. He might tell the police him carry go and being gay. But it's really carry go and for ship it off. How that part they go?
Well, Rastafari, I'll be right with the herbs. So until the police have information, evidence, or so otherwise, then they follow the Rastaman. You know what I mean? So the burden of proof then, without saying legal terms, should be on the state and the police and the government to disprove, say you're using it for sacramental purposes.
Okay.
But until then, we have the right. We have the right to work for, and we're elders we accept our ancient them tough and die for already.
All right, Bridget, give thanks for the update, and we hope the ones that are listening, because it's a very serious and important milestone this is for the Rastafari community as it relates to ganja. Give thanks, Bridget. Call Johannesburg. Hey, believe you me, you see, under that city there, we'll leave a gold mine. Johannesburg. Big city, look like New York. It's a skyscraper, like, wow. It's the nicest a whole heap of people go to Africa if even once in their life. Trust me, man. As we say, 12 o'clock, we're ushering His Majesty, coronation.
33 currencies in Africa. 33 currencies. None of which is used to conclude transactions anywhere. I come to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and I show my shilling. They say, what is it? But let me show the dollar. Oh, this is it. Let me show the euro. This is it. 80% of transactions in Africa are concluded outside of the continent in dollars. So you may have the Central Bank or the Federal Bank of Ethiopia or Mickey Mouse. You may have the Central Bank of Kenya, Mickey Mouse. You may have all these 54 central banks useless. Because we are not playing in the real league, we are playing in the small league.
Yes, believe you me, something to listen to. Like Jamaica, you can't spend Jamaica money nowhere else. Yet it can be changed into other currencies, and then you spend the currency. US dollars.
We spend $54 million a year on hair. $54 million a year on hair. We spend $152 million a year on perfume. We spend $700 million a year. This is just black people. $700 million a year on liquid soap. We are clean while living dirty. So you smell good, your hair looks good, your nails are good, you got brand new church clothes, and you got all of that with no insurance. You got all of that with no stocks. You got all of that.
Hey, you have to play about this preacher here, you know. You have to play about this preacher here. Listen.
We spend $54 million a year on hair. $54 million a year on hair. We spend $152 million a year on perfume. We spend $700 million a year. This is just black people. $700 million a year on liquid soap. We are clean while living dirty. So you smell good, your hair looks good, your nails are good, you got brand new church clothes, and you got all of that with no insurance. You got all of that with no stocks. You got all of that with no investment portfolio, but you smell good. We just keep buying a bunch of crap.
Now, I found out that the Greeks, who were supposed to have been the founders of civilization because they were the first civilized white folks, but the Greeks got their civilization from the Egyptians, and the Egyptians were black people. And the Greeks passed their civilization on to the Romans. They couldn't retain it. They lost it. They had a dark age in Europe for 500 years. And then another bunch of Africans, the Moors from North Africa, moved into Spain and started civilization all over again. So instead of Europe civilizing Africa, Africa has civilized Europe 2 times. They said that the earth was flat like a pancake out in the vastness of space with the sun and the moon and all the stars going around it. The ancient Egyptians in the Pyramid Age 6,000 years ago knew that the world was round. They knew that it went around the sun in 365 and 1/4 days. They measured the circumference of the earth, and they calculated it so accurately until modern astronomers said their error was only 1 yard. Circumference of the earth is about 25,000 miles, and they calculated it with an error of about this, 1 yard. African history. The reason I'm talking to you about it is because it's not in the textbooks. And it's not in the textbooks because we don't write textbooks. We have other people writing textbooks, and they put that propaganda in there, and we are supposed to swallow it.
I hope I listen. Some serious talking. Yeah, man, serious talking.
And I've said, and I'm saying it again, the things that require technology will not be achieved through theology. You are not going to pray the 5G to come into being. No. God gave you the ideas because your mind is what God gave you, and we are created in God's image. The image that God talks about is not about how we look. How can God possibly look like me? How can God possibly look like you? Ladies and gentlemen, in order for Africa to realize our potential, we must wake up. Because when we wake up and we are united, we are going to be masters of our own affairs. We are going to be masters of our own resources, and we can only do that through unity.
Yes, Papa, may I tell you, after all of them talking and singing and poetry and all of them heroes and things, you keep have to go over the same thing over and over and over. Forget it in a black people mind and consciousness that them need for wake up. Oh gosh, man, what a people stiff-necked. Yes, jazz time.
While driving through Jamaica, there's only one radio station I listen to, IRIA FM, IRIA FM, IRIA FM.
Okay, so look like no jazz not there. So we're going to continue the journey.
The informative information presented in this video is motivational and is positively aimed at inspiring, educating and entertaining the viewers with the cutting edge of critical reasoning. If you enjoy the contents on the Black Radar YouTube channel, please consider subscribing to show your support.
This is Mutabaruka. We want to present to you a wholesome kind of level of consciousness right now. So subscribe and tell your friend them. This is Mutabaruka.